How is the Golden Return by WWE Stomping Grounds 2019 pay-per-view? Of course, Stomping Grounds kick ass and take names because apparently that's what we do at Stomping Grounds. Of course, aired on the WWE Network tonight. And overall, I gotta say, coming out of Stomping Grounds for a show that was very openly about trashing. I trashed this video completely in my predictions video, saying how disinterested I was. It was garbage card. That was a terrible show. Blah 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 blah. But at the very end of the video, I did say that usually these pay-per-views that look like this or have very little interest and people just don't care for them. They usually end up being usually very good to great, for the most part, just because everyone's expectations are so low, they end up surpassing them still. And that's exactly what happened here with Stomping Grounds. I thought Stomping Grounds was a very good pay-per-view. It could have been great. It was on its way to being great, but in WWE fashion, they had it going up, and then they just could not finish strong because it just went downhill the last couple matches, and they couldn't finish the show strong at all. But, to me, it was still a very good show. I still very much enjoyed it. I thought it was a very fun pay-per-view overall itself. And, it was one of the better pay-per-views. It could have been, arguably one of the best pay-per-views of the year had the last few matches delivered. But nonetheless, I do still believe this is one of the better pay-per-views of the year. I still think it delivered. And, Stomping Grounds, to my surprise, was a very good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it very much. And, so let's go overall. Let's get into the show. Of course, we do have the kickoff show, which happened prior to the pay-per-view itself. We did some noteworthy stuff that happened. Samoa Joe cut an awesome promo on Ricochet. Why that dude is the main event seems beyond me. Bryan cut an incredible promo about, people not taking the tag team division seriously and just, talking about the people and whatnot. Bryan, hands down, in my opinion, is the best promo in WWE, so tremendous stuff there. And of course, we had our triple threat match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Tony Nese defending against Akira Tozawa as well as Drew Gulak. This is arguably match of the night. I thought it was an awesome match, a kickoff show. Really enjoyed this one right from the get-go. Drew Gulak gave a huge drop kick to Tony Nese. All three competitors worked very hard in this match. The crowd was very into it as well. Like the crowd, for people that don't really care about cruiserweights, the cruiserweights make people care once they're in the ring, and that's one of the things that I don't think people really take seriously, is how well they can captivate a crowd, or how easily they can captivate a crowd with how good they are. All three competitors, like I said, worked greatly. A lot of great counters and smooth transitions. A lot of great spots as well. Akira Tozawa took out Tony Nese on the outside. They did a great corner senton into the barricade and Drew Gulak. There was a great exchange in the ring where Tony Nese hit a dude buster onto Drew Gulak, which was met with a Shining Wizard by Akira Tozawa. Another great spot was where Drew Gulak had Tony Nese in the Gulak, and then Akira Tozawa hit a senton out of nowhere to break up the submission hold, which I thought was great. A lot of great near falls, at some points where I thought even Akira Tozawa was actually going to win, so they actually were able to get me into some false finishes. But finish came with Drew Gulak trying to hit his finish on Tony Nese. Tony Nese got out of it. Akira Tozawa got involved. Tony Nese got thrown on the outside, then knocked down off the apron by Akira Tozawa. Gulak ended up taking advantage of that, ended up hitting his torture rack neck breaker on Akira Tozawa for the 1, 2, 3, and Drew Gulak is your brand new WWE Cruiserweight Champion. Very, very happy for Drew Gulak. This is definitely a man that deserves it. I've been behind Drew Gulak ever since he joined the inaugural Cruiserweight Classic, and I was very excited that he ended up signing with WWE. So Drew Gulak winning the Cruiserweight Championship is long overdue. Personally, I would prefer him to be on Raw or SmackDown Live, but given how Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander can't even get on TV, Drew Gulak being on 205 Live as the WWE Cruiserweight Champion definitely is the best thing for him. So awesome match, the kickoff show. Cruiserweights definitely need to be on the main show. They definitely prove it most of the time. They deserve to be on it. So hopefully, this can open the doors to that. But very, very happy about Drew Gulak winning the championship. Would have preferred him to win at Extreme Rules in his hometown, Philadelphia. But hopefully we can still get, maybe Drew Gulak and Tony Nese in Philadelphia street fight for the Cruiserweight Championship and a rematch, maybe. Who knows? But Drew Gulak is a Cruiserweight Champion. Very, very excited for him. Very happy for him as well. Great match on the kickoff show. So, great stuff on the kickoff show. Then, of course, going to the main show, we'll open up with the Raw Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch defending against Lacey Evans. This match was about on par, if not maybe a little bit better than my big match, which really isn't saying much. The crowd was red hot for the match, which I will say about the crowd. The crowd was pretty much red hot throughout the entire night, besides the last few matches where it kind of died down because the show died down. They're very good. Michael Cole is very good on commentary as well. I thought Michael Cole did a tremendous job on commentary. He was very vocal. He was very enthusiastic. You can definitely tell he's on his A game tonight. So Michael Cole was great, and Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans was, like I said, was fine. There was just Lacey Evans. I do like Lacey Evans, but you can definitely tell she's just not ready to be on the main roster. She just does not click with anyone she works with, whether it's Becky, Charlotte, and Natalia. Whoever she's been in the ring with so far on the main roster. to me, she just has not clicked with them. And this was a prime example of it. It was very sloppy. You know, she was mispositioned and miscued a lot of stuff. And I mean, the fault isn't solely on her. Becky fucked up some things as well in this match, like her springboard kick or whatever it is. So it's not just straight Lacey Evans, but there really wasn't much of the match at all. You know, they did a thing where Lacey Evans did her little handkerchief thing where she's patting herself down, and Becky ended up taking it and giving her the mandible claw, which I thought was a great spot. And then, you know, Becky ended up tapping her out with a disarmer, which she tapped out very quickly. Like, Becky didn't even fully lock it in, and Lacey was already immediately tapping out. So I don't know why they had her tap out immediately like that. But Becky retains the championship. All right match. Like I said, it was pretty much on par, if not maybe a little bit better than their Money in the Bank match. But that really wasn't saying much because that match really wasn't anything anyways. But yeah, that was that. From there, we go to the New Day taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Right from the get-go, Kevin Owens, you know, destroys Big E with a super kick on the apron, and then gives Xavier Woods 3 straight super kicks, followed by a swanton. Xavier Woods kicked out, tagging Sami Zayn, his super kick right into a Blue Thunder Bomb. Xavier Woods kicks out. Kevin Owens tags back in, hits a frog splash. Xavier Woods kicks out. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, they're just gonna work on Xavier till Big E gets a hot tag. Big E's gonna pin them and win. So the formula somewhat happened. It beat down Xavier Woods, and the match is kind of boring because they're just beating down Xavier. But once Big E got the hot tag, that's when the match just, you know, went into fourth gear and just was absolutely crazy. You know, Big E went absolutely ate shit on Sami Zayn on the hot tag, took out him and Owens. You know, match is good too when Big E busts out the apron spear. He speared Sami Zayn through the apron, through the ropes off the apron, which was great. A lot of great spots. You know, Sami Zayn was able to get out of the Midnight Hour, which led into hitting a haluva kick onto Xavier Woods, followed through into a pop-up powerbomb, but Big E broke up the pin. Just a lot of craziness, a lot of near falls, and the ending was great. You know, Big E took out Sami, so they're on the outside, and then Xavier Woods tried to go up on the top. Kevin Owens knocked him down by pretty much like leaning on the ropes, knocked down Xavier Woods, hit a stunner, and then 1, 2, 3, Kevin Owens pinned Xavier Woods to get the win for him and Sami Zayn. Definitely a much needed one for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I feel like they've lost like every match since they've been back. They might have won like a match or two, but besides that, they've really have almost lost every single match they've been in since coming back. And you know, New Day doesn't. They don't, you know, lose any credibility or anything by losing. So I think Owens and Zayn winning definitely was the right decision. And yeah, it was a great match. It was a lot of fun. You know, like I said, I thought it was gonna be a squash. Should have been a squash at first, but how the match more played out, I'm very glad it didn't, because it ended up being an awesome tag team match. So that was a lot of fun. From there, we go to the United States Championship match. Samoa Joe defending against Ricochet. This was a great match as well. This is my personal match of the night. You could argue this match and probably two other matches the match of the night, and I wouldn't argue it because they were all kind of on the same level of how good they were. But this match was very, very fun. Their styles complement each other very, very well. You know, of course, Joe is the big monster like heel, and of course Ricochet is the babyface high flyer. And you know, Ricochet was just bumping his ass off for Samoa Joe. You know, he was taking bumps like crazy. You know, he was being turned inside out. You know, his selling was just superb. And then of course Ricochet would have his comebacks, but Joe would cut him down, and then Ricochet ended up cutting Joe down in size, took out Joe at one point, and just had a fight. And those two were slugging the shit out of each other, and Ricochet gave him a sick enziguri, which I thought rang Joe's bells because he looked like he was seeing stars. But then Joe, you know, gave him a huge uranagi, which he just looked like he broke his upper back and neck landing on it. So definitely Joe gave him his receipt on that one. But this was an awesome match. Great finish. You know, Joe was looking for the coquina clutch on the ropes, but then Ricochet, you know, pulled him down and springboarded him off the ropes, setting up for the 630. Went for it. Joe got out of the way, but when Joe went to attack him, Ricochet ended up hitting him with a code breaker, setting him up for the 630 once again. Ricochet hits a 630 and becomes your brand new United States champion. Very, very excited about that one. I think Ricochet is a perfect United States champion. I feel like him doing open challenges on Raw could be, you know, one of the biggest things leading in the Raw, one of the biggest reasons people look forward to Raw, because I think Ricochet, with that championship, doing open challenges, having new challengers, and putting on great matches every single week will definitely be must-see for a lot of people, including myself. So Ricochet as United States champion, very, very excited for that. You know, it sucks to see Samoa Joe eat another loss like that, especially clean. But you know what? You know, I don't know. I feel like Joe should be in the main event scene. They definitely need to elevate him there. So hopefully that's kind of what they're going to lead down towards at some point. But Ricochet is U.S. champion. Very happy about that. And I absolutely love the way they played off afterwards as well, because they followed him into gorilla position. He's being greeted by Seth Rollins. Charlotte, why she's there, I have no idea. Heavy Machinery and Triple H. Triple H was there, to congratulate him. And I thought it was perfect because it led into Heavy Machinery in their match. Heavy Machinery congratulated him. They played their music and they went out, so it gave them a reason to be back there. Why Seth Rollins and Charlotte were there, I don't know. But I thought it was a great lead into the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Of course, Daniel Bryan and Rowan defending against Heavy Machinery. This was another great tag team match right here. They completely reversed the roles. Bryan, at least, well, I'm not going to say Bryan and Rowan. At least Bryan was a face and Heavy Machinery was a heel. Bryan completely embraced being a heel. Of course, this is in Washington State, and he's pretty much a god there. So why wouldn't he? He was even hulking up. How Bryan does the drop kicks and he's like, he's firing up. And, he wasn't doing the yes, but he was kind of like, with the yes kicks, he was doing it in the motion with the yes chant. And even when the crowd was chanting for him, he tagged himself in because the crowd wanted to see him. So I thought that was great on him. Otis played a great heel as well. I thought him, eating it up and kind of like taking advantage of that played excellently. Speaking of Otis, him and Bryan had a great exchange. I thought that was definitely the highlight of this match, were those two going at it. Bryan was getting him some yes kicks, and Otis was kind of absorbing and saying, give me more. And at one point, even Otis gave him a great pop-up powerbomb for a great near fall, which I thought. Tucker was pretty impressive as well. He got a hot tag at one point and he got some near falls. He went to the ropes and Bryan took him out, and then Bryan hit a great drop kick on Otis. Rowan played a good part as well. Him and I guess Tucker had a good exchange. Tucker went for a moonsault but missed. So I was very impressed to see him do that. But finish came, Bryan and Tucker were legal men. Tucker took out Rowan, I believe, and Bryan took out Otis, and Bryan was laid out in the middle of the ring. Tucker rolled in the ring, went to get Bryan, but Bryan rolled him up with a small package for the 1, 2, 3. So Daniel Bryan and Rowan retained these SmackDown Tag Team titles against Heavy Machinery. Like I said, I thought it was a very good tag team match here. I thought both teams worked hard. Definitely was a great showcase for Heavy Machinery. They've kind of been looked at as jokes, but I think this match proved when, it gets down to it, when they need to be serious, they can be serious, and they produced a great match with Daniel Bryan and Rowan. So, and they protected them too at the finish with the roll-up finish. So it was a win-win, great match, protected Heavy Machinery and made them look good. So no complaints at all. Great tag team title match right there. And then of course that leads into the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Bayley defending against Alexa Bliss. This was a very good match, I thought. I thought these two women went out there and had a brawl. It was very back and forth. I saw some people that didn't like it, but I thought this match, compared to their matches in 2017 at least, I thought this was very good. I thought Bliss looked great. She kind of worked on Bayley's shoulder. She's throwing her to the post and kind of twisting her arm a whole bunch. So she was working on Bayley's shoulder for a good majority of the match. And I just thought they worked very well. At one point, Alexa Bliss was down the outside. Becky, not Becky Lynch. Bayley went for a suicide dive. And then, of course, Alexa pushed Nikki into the way, and, Bayley ended up taking her out. Back in the ring, and the finish is kind of what ruined the match for a lot of people, I've noticed. And I didn't say it ruined it for me, but it was kind of like, it was a very stupid finish. Back in the ring, Nikki Cross runs in the ring to try to attack Bayley, but that kind of interferes, and Alexa Bliss is almost got pinned. But then Alexa Bliss, lays out Bayley, goes for Twisted Bliss. Bayley gets her knees up. Bayley hits the Bayley to belly onto Alexa Bliss to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then afterwards, Nikki is consoling Alexa Bliss for a loss. But I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed it. It accomplished, adding more animosity between Nikki and Alexa, even though I do believe they should be the tag team champions, because I think their duo is very, very well together. They're one of the most interesting things, I think. So to split them at some point is a mistake, anytime soon at least. So they definitely should have a run. But it definitely adds animosity between those two, and it gives Bayley a successful title defense. It makes her look good. So I thought it was a win-win in that situation as well. We have a great segment backstage with Ricochet. Wasn't a great segment, but I thought it was one of those little things I really like. Where Ricochet was in a photo shoot with the U.S. title. Gallows and Anderson come out to kind of mess with them a little bit, and then AJ comes out and says, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow." So tomorrow night on Raw, Ricochet, AJ Styles. Excuse me. Definitely a must-see match. So I'm very excited for that one. Very excited that AJ is back together with Gallows and Anderson as well. So I'm very interested for that. And at this point, this is where the show kind of takes a nose dive down. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns. This match probably was not any better than the WrestleMania match. I know some people thought it was a great match. Personally, I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was very boring because of the Shane stuff. Right from the get-go, Roman's getting his ass kicked by Drew. They brawl out. Shane gets involved. McIntyre's just beating the shit out of Roman. Roman, takes him out, and then, of course, chases Shane throughout the arena. McIntyre sneaks attacks him. McIntyre works on him. Roman has his comeback, hits a spear. Looks like he's going to win, but Shane takes the referee out. Shane, beats down Roman, hits the coast to coast, throws referee back in, but Roman kicks out. Shane's trying to distract and try and get involved. Roman takes him out, Superman punch, and then spears Drew McIntyre for the 1-2-3 victory. So Roman Reigns defeats Drew McIntyre, which was a whatever match. I really wasn't into it. I just, those two just don't give they aren't allowed to have a great match in my opinion. Like, those two on paper sound like a great match, but every match they've had hasn't been anything special. And the WrestleMania match wasn't anything special. That was boring. This match is boring as well. So I feel bad for those two. Roman just can't get a great match nowadays, and Drew McIntyre just, whatever reason, he's being fed the Roman. And I just don't see the sense of having all these guys lose to Roman Reigns and have Shane McMahon beat Roman, and then, just for the ending, to the finish, the payoff for this story to be Roman beating Shane again, or finally beating Shane. I just think it's ridiculous. This whole Shane McMahon thing is ridiculous, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, McIntyre and Reigns did enjoy it. Didn't care to see Roman beat him. I think Roman's untouchable at this point. I think Roman could have lost this match, and it wouldn't have hurt him at all. I think Roman can lose almost any match and it wouldn't hurt him at this point. He's Roman Reigns. He can't be touched, in my opinion, in terms of being hurt. But yeah, he beat Drew McIntyre for no reason, and poor Drew. That's all I'm going to say about that. From there on, if you thought that match is boring, this is the most boring match. Actually, the main event might be the most boring one. I take that back. The steel cage match for the WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston defending against Dolph Ziggler. This match is very boring. I didn't like it at all. There was some cage stuff involved where, like, Kofi got thrown into it, but it was just sleeper holds from Ziggler. Ziggler worked on Kofi's knee for a little bit, but he really wasn't working on it because, like, he had him, like, in a knee bar, but he wasn't putting any pressure on it. He was kind of, like, holding it to the side, which I thought was pretty stupid, but it was what it was. The only thing that was good about this match was the finish. Dolph was trying to climb out the door, but as he's doing that, Kofi dove through the ropes over Dolph and went, pretty much face planted in the ground. But you know what? Kofi won because both his feet touched the ground first, and I thought that was great because I showed Kofi's willing to do whatever it took, and he was willing to take a face plant to the ground to change the WWE Championship. So I thought that was great. I thought it was a great finish. It was unique. It was different. It was fresh. So that's why I liked it. Hopefully this feud doesn't continue. I don't want to see Dolph Ziggler and Kofi King. I don't want to see Dolph Ziggler, period, to be honest, but I definitely don't want to see him in the WWE title picture. And I feel like with that finish, that's gonna have him complain and try and get another title match. They might give him a rematch at Extreme Rules. I don't want to see that. So very, very boring steel cage match. These matches aren't helping Kofi, even though he's been booked greatly on TV. It's just these title defenses aren't working out for him. So hopefully it's the last Dolph Ziggler we see for a little bit, because like I said, I really don't care to see him anymore. Throw Kevin Owens back with Kofi. I don't care. Just anyone but Dolph. It's funny because he keeps saying it should have been me, but in my mind, anyone but you. Then we go to the main event, which was a Universal Championship match. Seth Rollins defending against Baron Corbin. Of course, the big thing about this match was there to be a special guest referee. Baron Corbin announces the referee to be Lacey Evans. Now, granted, she looked amazing as a referee. I won't take that away from her. However, doesn't mean I cared to see her still. This match was horrendous. It was basically what you would have expected. Corbin beating the shit out of, Rollins. He used a steel chair. Rollins, had Corbin, he put Corbin through a table and had him counted out, but Lacey refused to count him out. Changed the rules, said it's now a no count-out match, so there's no count-outs. And then, of course, Rollins introduced a steel chair. Corbin went to use it, so Lacey said, oh, it's no DQ now because Corbin has a chair. So it is completely favoring, Corbin because, she is feuding with Becky, and of course Becky is Rollins' girlfriend. So that's exactly how it played out. Lacey wouldn't count, and when she counted, she'd count very slow. But, then she faked the arm injury, your typical shit. And it was just very, very boring and such a waste of time. This match is such a huge downgrade from the Super Showdown match as well. This was just, did not need the main event, and it was just a clusterfuck. It dragged on way too long. It was boring. I could trash this match for hours, but I'm not going to. Finish came where Lacey Evans hit a low blow on Seth Rollins. Corbin hit ended days before he got the pin. Becky Lynch came out and attacked Lacey Evans. She took out Lacey Evans, of course. Huge debacle. Then a bunch of referees came out. Baron Corbin demanded another ref. Then, of course, the referee that came in the ring, none other than John Cone, the referee that kind of fucked him at Super Showdown. So he comes in the ring. Corbin's bitching about that. Rollins ends up hitting a super kick. Curb stomp 1, 2, 3. Rollins retains the Universal Championship. So that was that. But then, of course, my hunch is we're either going to get Becky and Rollins versus Lacey and Corbin at Extreme Rules, or tomorrow night in Raw, which it doesn't matter because now it's pretty much guaranteed we'll probably get another Corbin-Rollins match because of the way that ended. So, I don't know. That match and that main event did not give me any excitement to see the future of the Universal Championship. So that definitely, they fucked up in that department. So I don't know. I don't care to see how that title scene goes down anytime soon, but I just hope they finish the feud on Raw tomorrow. There's no reason to do the mixed tag or even a rematch between Rollins and Corbin at Extreme Rules. There's no need for it. So, but they'll probably do it though, knowing WWE. So, yeah, terrible finish to what was a very good show. I thought, like I said, I thought 3/4 of the show was very good. The first match, all the way to the SmackDown Women's Title match were very good. They were good to great, I thought. And then once Reigns and McIntyre hit the ring, the show just took a nosedive straight down, and each match got worse. McIntyre and Reigns is boring, but then Ziggler and Kofi somehow topped that, being more boring, and then somehow Rollins and Corbin topped that by being extremely boring. So I don't know. I still, like I said, I still very much enjoyed Stomping Grounds. I thought it was a very good pay-per-view still. One of the better pay-per-views of the year, considering, like I said, my predictions video, I was very down on it. I thought it would be a terrible show, but ended up surprising me and being a very good show. So I very much enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. And of course, the next time, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching the video.